Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the A segment of episode 33 of The Loud House, Lock and Loud. We begin this segment with Lynn Sr. and Rita returning home sometime at night. Apparently, they've been taking lessons for ballroom dancing, and when they exit Vanzilla, they decide to test out what they learned for tonight's lessons. But Lynn Sr. accidentally twirls Rita into the plants just outside the house, so he plans to go in and get the first aid kit for her. But he notices that the door is already unlocked, and he's quite annoyed about this. It turns out the Loud siblings have a tendency to not lock the doors, and Lynn Sr. is very frustrated with all 11 of his kids as he lets all of them know. The siblings don't really see what the big deal is, but Lynn Sr. mentions that a burglar has recently been spotted within the area, and he's fearful that their house could be another target for the burglar in the future. And he locks the door in anger about it being unlocked earlier, only to realize he still needs to get the first aid kit for Rita. Later on, all the siblings are gathered together for a sibling meeting, and Lincoln considers that maybe they should take their dad's warning more seriously and beef up security for the house, and the Loud sisters agree with their brother on this. So the next day, we do see the Loud siblings are trying to increase the security of the house. Some examples include Lincoln inviting Clyde over to help him listen to the police scanner and to look up a book of how to translate those number codes that police officers say. Lori invites Bobby to help with security because Bobby has had jobs that involve security in the past. And Lisa installs some safety measures or traps for potential burglars. Lynn tries to teach Lenny and Lola how to defend themselves if a burglar shows up. And Lana tries to teach Charles how to be an attack dog, but that doesn't work so well. And Lynn Sr. is impressed and glad to see that his kids are taking his warning seriously as he and Rita leave for the day. While they're gone, though, Lincoln and Clyde, listening to the police scanner, hear that the burglar has been caught by the police. So the siblings feel that they have nothing to fear anymore. By the time Lynn Sr. and Rita return home, Lynn Sr. notices that the door is unlocked again, and he's upset about this, but the kids tell him there's nothing to worry about, the burglar has been caught. But Lynn Sr. responds that there could be other burglars in the future, but Lisa dismisses his concerns by saying that the crime rate in Royal Woods is not all that great, and the rest of the siblings just blow off Lynn Sr.'s concerns. And he seems like he has something on his mind after that. So, Lynn Sr. and Rita are heading off for another night together. And after they've left, Mr. Grouse yells in despair. The siblings go to see what's up, and he says that he's been robbed. And the siblings fear that their dad's warnings that another burglar could appear are coming true. So they not only reinstall the security that they did earlier, but they crank it up to 11. Like, they have barbed wires, they dig a moat, or at least a ditch around the house, and they put a metal fence around the house, not just the barbed wire. They got like a watchtower with a big light, and they try to use a trap with bacon grease, and or they prepare a trap for bacon grease, and although some bacon gets caught in the bucket too, and Lynn invites her roller derby team to help Bobby with security. There's at least four members, not counting Lynn herself, and one of them is Margot, but no sign of Polly Payne. And by the time Lynn Sr. and Rita return home, they notice just how seriously the Loud siblings are taking the security measures after explaining what happened to Mr. Grouse. Lynn Sr. says he's glad that the kids are taking security measures more seriously, but admits that they are overdoing it, saying that they'll be fine as long as they lock the doors and windows. And everyone's preparing to head off to bed. But later on, we see Lynn Sr. leaving the house, and he's wearing a black hoodie with the hood up. And he's going to Mr. Grouse's house, and he's giving him muffins. It turns out that Mr. Grouse wasn't really robbed. It was just a ruse that Lynn Sr. concocted to scare his kids into being more safety concerned or be more safety conscious. And, well, Mr. Grouse, apparently he likes Lynn Sr.'s muffins, so he agreed to help out with this ruse. But as Lynn Sr. is making his return trip home, he left the door unlocked, the kitchen door unlocked, ironically enough. And Lenny goes down to get a brief snack, or a quick snack, and she notices this, so she locks the door, saying how her dad will be proud of her. But now Lynn Sr. can't get back into the house easily, and when he tries to get in through the window, he ends up setting off one of the alarms that the siblings had set up. And so they take all the safety measures that they can to stop the supposed burglar. As for the bacon grease, it apparently turned solid while it was in the bucket, so now he just has, and like I said earlier, some bacon was still in there, so Lynn Sr. just has bacon on his pants by the end of it. And when he's getting attacked by the security force, Rita recognizes the dance shoes, and they find out it's Lynn Sr. He tries to pass it off as him just taking a walk and accidentally locking himself out. But the truth is exposed when Mr. Grouse, out loud, he shouts to Lynn Sr. about how the muffins he made had walnuts in them, and Mr. Grouse is allergic to walnuts. And he's saying the next time he wants him to pretend that he's robbed to scare his kids, he shouldn't put walnuts in there. The kids are surprised about this, and Lynn Sr. admits that he did this, but it was only because he was concerned about losing his most valuables, and he considers his family to be his most precious valuables. And then, because of the bacon that stuck to him from that bouched bacon grease trap, Charles likes his bacon, so he bites Lynn Sr., and Lana's like, oh, finally, Charles is an attack dog, and that's how we end this segment. Now, I did enjoy this segment overall, and like Fantastic Voyage, this also gave Lynn Sr. if not the viewpoint character, at least the spotlight character. And he's been getting a lot of those lately. And I know some people were hoping, though, that Rita would get some attention, too, in the future. But for now, Lynn Sr. seems to be getting quite a bit of attention, which reaffirms what was mentioned before by the staff, how Season 2 would have the Loud parents more involved than they were compared to Season 1, relatively speaking. Now, the lesson about safety measures, I thought it was a good lesson, and yeah, I'm someone who's definitely very diligent to make sure all the doors and windows are locked, so I can understand where Lynn Sr. is coming from. But what I liked about this segment is, while I did recognize the valid point of that, it seemed like Lynn Sr. ended up learning something as well, because while Lynn Sr.'s intentions were good, trying to get his kids to be more safety conscious, he kind of did, they did kind of go the very extreme routes of going about that. Although, And it was shown that Lynn Sr.'s methods probably, he could have probably tried away without scaring him to the extent that he did when he pulled that ruse with Mr. Grouse. And, well, that's a good point, too. It's like, it's important to let people know the importance of safety or being cautious, but don't try to scare them too much or don't try to make them overly paranoid or else they'll go the opposite extreme. And, well, Lynn Sr. did kind of saw the consequences of that for himself when they finally did lock the door and they did take safety measures, and he ended up getting the brunt of it when they thought he was a burglar. And, well, and oh, as for what happened to Lynn Sr. near the end of the segment, it did bring Home Alone to mind for me, or I have good memories of watching the first two Home Alone movies. I've only seen the other ones maybe once or twice, so I'm not quite as familiar with those movies. But as far as the first two Home Alone movies, I always do enjoy watching those. So seeing what happened with Lynn Sr. kind of brought that to mind. It was definitely felt like a Home Alone-esque sequence. And as far as other matters go, I did like that they did reference some previous segments. Like Bobby was shown to be a mall cop back in for Bros About to Rock. So I could see why Lori wanted his help in security. And Lynn brought her roller derby team to help with security as well. But I was surprised Polly Payne wasn't there, even though it was mentioned that she was on Lynn's roller derby team. But then again, counting Lynn, there were 5 members present, and we know Margot's on the roller derby team. But yeah, now I'm not too familiar with roller derby. My experience is just seeing it on some TV shows like King of the Hill, so I don't know if there's usually more than 5 members on a roller derby team or not. So while she did say it was her roller derby team, maybe Lynn didn't invite all the members of the roller derby team. Maybe she just brought a handful of members. And, well, as far as Polly, I did mention before that Polly may or may not have returned in the future. There's actually a little debate about that, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But like I said, seeing Margot again was pretty cool because, again, she's a friend of the sisters who actually has a name to her, and, well, she's apparently on several of Lynn's teams, so that's a nice look into the Loud family, or the Loud sisters' lives outside of the family. Even if it's just a glimpse of it, it's still appreciated all the same. So, overall, I did enjoy this segment. I thought it had a good lesson. I thought it executed that lesson well. And I thought they made a valid point about how Lynn Sr.'s well-intentioned methods of getting that message across may not have been the best way to get his point across. And, yeah, some nice references to previous segments. So, and a nice Home Alone scene reminiscent of Home Alone. So, yeah, I thought it was a good segment overall. As to be expected, the B segment will be next. Take care, and until next time.